This lighting is majestic. Hey everyone, how are you doing today? I'm doing great, thank you for asking. If you're returning, hi, welcome back, and if you are new, please feel free to subscribe down below for more videos. It would mean a lot to me. Today I'm going to be doing a story time about how I passed out at school and split my chin open, like full on split my chin open. But I don't know if you could see the scar. Me kinda can. But it's there, it's really tiny. It wasn't like, oh my god, I almost died at school. Oh my god, my chin split open, died, dead, bleh, you know, that sort of thing. I'm not gonna over-exaggerate this because I feel no need to over-exaggerate this. It was already traumatizing enough. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get into the video. So this happened 3 days before my birthday because this happened on May 4th and my birthday was on May 7th. And that's not really relevant to the story, but I mean, it was so close to my birthday that it's like, really, why? And this happened during my junior year, like the very, very end of junior year. It was almost over. This was like the last section of classes, you know? They were moving on to their last sections that they would teach, and then school would be out. So I was like, yeah, summer's coming up. I can try out for dance team, things like that, all that jazz. The way that my school system worked, it was 4 classes one day and then 4 classes the next day, and then it would alternate, so it's A day, B day, that sort of thing. And I feel like a lot of schools do that system, but if it doesn't, hopefully this makes sense. So the day this happened on, I had health 3rd period. In my health class, we had just moved to the section on first aid and CPR. And we had just gotten through the CPR part of this section, which I was fine with, not a problem, like yeah, save some lives, CPR, things like that. And we had moved on to the first aid part, and I'm known for not having a very strong, is it called immune system? That sort of thing? Is it? I'm known for getting nauseous very easily at certain things, but never like really bad to the point where I'd pass out or throw up or things like that. I would just get really uncomfortable and try to evade the situation. Well, in my health class this day, they were going to show a video on how you fix wounds and stuff, and it would get really specific on what you would need to do to heal things, like apply bandages and dressing, which is disgusting. I hate that word. But yeah, they were gonna show that video that day, and I was planning on totally skipping that day. Yeah, I totally forgot to tell my mom that I did not want to go to class that day and that I wanted to get called out early. Oh, such a mistake. Oh my god, I hate my past self. Like, why couldn't I just remember? This could have all been avoided. But no, I went to class that day, and I went and I sat down and I totally was just like, I wonder what we're doing in class today. I don't even know. Why do I do this so much? Does this bother you? Because it kind of bothers me. He said, all right, everyone, we're gonna be showing the video that I told you about last week. And my heart just sank. I cannot describe the feeling. I just started immediately panicking because I knew I was not gonna be able to handle this video because it was about first aid, and me with first aid does not go well together at all. He starts saying, all right, now if anyone has any problems with this video or thinks that they won't be able to handle it, please raise your hand and tell me now. And because I'm such a shy little bean, I just stayed in my spot and I was like, oh, I can totally handle it, it's fine. I'm sure it's not even that bad. And we were supposed to take notes on it, of course. So instead of taking notes, I started doodling really creepy, vulgar drawings that were like really weird faces and eyeballs and just like really, really creepy things. I think it was coming from a subconscious, and I was like, let me just draw what I'm feeling. And it was really weird. And they started talking about what happens if you get impaled or something and like a rod is stuck in an arm, and it's like, you have to take some dressing and apply it around the wound. Like, I just could not block it out. I was trying so hard to block it out, but I just couldn't. And I panicked. So I grabbed my planner from my backpack and I got up and I sped walked to the front of the room, and immediately my teacher just knew I was screwed. He was like, do you need to leave? And I said yes. So as I turned to go to the door, the last thing I remember is walking 1 step towards the door and then nothing. And it's such a sketchy feeling to wake up in a completely different area than you were like 5 seconds ago. Oh my god. I can't even imagine like what my classmates must have thought. That must have been just so funny. So all I remember is walking towards the door, and the way the classroom works is like, it's like 10 to 20 steps to get to the door, and then next to the door there's a desk with some supplies on it, you know, typical health room. And what had happened is I woke up and I was underneath this desk. So I had fallen, hit my chin on the desk or some of the supplies that was on the desk or something, and I fell and landed underneath it. And I wake up and I just have my health teacher like telling people to call the nurse, and he's trying to get this first aid kit ready, and I'm just like on the ground not knowing what's happening. And it didn't really click with me that I had hit my chin and split it open until he got out some gauze and started touching it against my chin. I was like, oh my god, my chin. Like the first thing I thought was like, did I break any teeth? So I'm like sitting there moving my mouth around my tongue. Moving my tongue around my mouth, trying to like, you know, see if I chipped any teeth or did any of that fun stuff. But thank God I didn't. I just hit my chin and split it open. So yeah, at this point I look over to my right side and that's where the entire classroom was, and they're all just like in shock, like what just happened. They're staring at me, and I'm the type of person who does not like attention on me at all, like in a public space. I hate attention. I like turtle if I get any sort of attention on me. So this was like a really traumatizing thing to happen because all my classmates are sitting there and like the pinpoint is me, and it's bad. But after a few minutes of that, my teacher eventually tells them to all go outside, so they all leave, except some stay behind, which was really, really nice of them to help me out and stuff. So they all leave the classroom, and eventually this assistant, or the actual nurse, I don't remember, comes in with the wheelchair. And I get put up on the wheelchair, and they wheel me down to the nurse's office, and I have to wait for my mom to come pick me up. And it was just so bad. I managed to hold off tears until my mom came and picked me up, but as soon as I got in the car and the nurse lady left, I bawled my eyes out. I was traumatized. I was like, what just happened? I cannot go back to that class. And I did end up skipping a few more days, and I just, like, I couldn't go back. As long as they were doing the first aid thing, like, I just could not be in the room physically. It would make me sick. So now we move on to dance tryouts that were that night because, you know, I really wanted to make the dance team. So I went to dance tryouts that night. I don't think any of the girls know what exactly happened to my face because I'm gonna insert a picture here of my chin. It was bandaged. I had like, I think a butterfly thing and then a band-aid over the butterfly. What are those called? Band-aids? Butterfly band-aid? Anyways, I had that on and I had a scrape above, like right here, and I had been crying, so my eyes are red. Obviously, it's just so bad. I just don't understand how a human being can fail that bad. I was feeling still like really shaky and sick and just, it was bad. And I had my mom explain to my coach what had gone on the day, like what had gone on during the day, and my coach was like, oh yeah, no problem, she can sit out for a lot of it, like don't even worry about it. And I was like, sit out for a lot of it? Who do you think I am? Like, I'm gonna try out. If I'm here, I'm gonna try out, which was like kind of a bad idea. So what does she have us do? She has us run around the gym like 4 times just to get our bodies warmed up and stuff. And I was like, oh my god, I don't know if I can run because I'm like super lightheaded already. But I started running, and the look on her face was priceless when she saw me running. She was like, you can sit out, like don't run. And I was like, don't even worry about it, I'm fine. And so I kept running, and then like at the end of the running, I was so exhausted and I was so lightheaded. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna pass out again. That was such a bad idea, Kayla. Why are you so stupid? Why would you do that? And it all ended up working out. It was fine. But then if you're a dancer, you know, like across the floor, you have to do different skills and tricks across the floor. I was in the back of one of the lines, and there was a girl in front of me, and she started like getting all fidgety and stuff. I'm like, I wasn't really paying attention because I'm a professional daydreamer, and of course I wasn't paying attention to anything that was going on. And all of a sudden she just starts like throwing up in her hand and like on the floor, and like right in front of me. This happened right like beside me, and I was already feeling lightheaded. I was queasy. I was like, I just want to get this tryout over with so I can go home. And she throws up, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Because whenever I see someone else throw up, then it like starts affecting me, you know? And Poor girl, I felt so bad for her. But yeah, I had to like get myself in this mindset of you're fine, it's gonna be okay, she's gonna be okay, everyone's gonna be okay, lollipops and rainbows, the world is a beautiful place, yada yada yada. And I made it through the tryout and I did tricks and all that, and it was really funny because the girls would ask me like, what happened to your chin? And I'm just like, I fell. And I could tell that they were like, you fell? Like, how did you fall? Did you just like dramatic trip and like hit your chin on something? It's so random, but yeah, that's actually what happened. So if any of you were on the dance team and saw me with like this big old bandage on my chin for senior year tryouts, that is what happened. I passed out during class and it was a very traumatizing experience. I was so afraid to be around anyone or anything during that entire summer because I thought someone would mention like, I don't know, breaking a bone or something, and I'd be like triggered. But yeah, still to this day, it kind of affects me. So yeah, that was the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and give this video a big, jeez Louise, what is my problem? Please be sure to give it a big thumbs up and let me know if you want any more story times from me. If I was really bad at the story time, then thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. I was ready to blow me down.